all these kids, literally. You used to always say, "Bro, you live in a fairy tale world." But yeah, I've been married to my high school. You will be the change that you desire, and it's never too late. Can you grow? For 60 years, you may have been whatever.
Yeah, but having to mourn the life that I used to have, because I lived a really fast life before, like a very fast and kind of self-centered life.
Can I grow? Can I grow? Can I?
Welcome to Can I Grow with Liv and Ro. Bro, I'm really excited about today's conversation. What are we talking about, girl?
We're going to be really just discussing the evolution of growth and what it means to us. Because, I mean, didn't you just turn 30?
Girl, I'm 30.
I feel like a low-key vet because I'm like 5 to 6 months in. Reflecting on when I was turning 30, I was excited, you know. I was ready for the new decade. I thought it was just a new chance to rewrite my story. I was happy to believe in my 20s and starting something new. I know sometimes when I chatted with you about the fact I was turning 30, like, girl, we're nearly 30, girl. That's you. I'm still 29.
I was holding on to 29 till the last hour.
And that leads me to ask you, being as though we were in school age, mostly everyone was born in 1994.
Yeah.
Unless your birthday came late, like me. But it's so crazy to see that all of our peers is turning 30 this year. So it kind of makes me feel good, like we're not alone. Everyone's growing right now. So it just leads me to ask you, did you have any fears about turning 30, or did you feel like why did you feel you wanted to hold on to your 20s?
I actually am super excited to be going into 30.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for what that means for me and the growth that I see coming, and the woman that I see myself becoming. With that being said, 29, a lot of things happened in 29. Mm-hmm. I had a baby. I had a lot of life changes. I had a baby. It was my first time living with a man. My first time, a lot of first. So I went through a phase of just like having to mourn the life that I used to have, because I lived a really fast life before, like a very fast and kind of self-centered life. Yeah. So I had to mourn the life that I used to have and release that to be able to get to the place where I am right now. And I think that happened all last year, to get to the place where I am right now, where I'm super excited for this new season that I'm in. I'm super excited for the woman that I'm becoming and the projects I'm getting into. So I think that was really it for me, because I literally, 29 marked a transition in my entire life.
I love that, Liv. And I can definitely say that I have a different viewpoint on my 20s. I feel like in my 20s, I learned a lot. I did do a lot. And I feel like I gained a lot of wisdom in my 20s. Whereas, before I felt like I was super wise, but I wasn't. But through life lessons, I feel like I elevated to a new level. And also throughout my 20s, I feel like I was a little hesitant. I went for what I wanted to, but I think a lot of my decisions were based on other people. Yeah. And while I am a mother, 30 is for me. It's for me, reclaiming my life, and honestly doing what I want to do with no limits. It starts with limits from your parents, and no shade to my parents. I know they want the best for you, but sometimes their fears can sometimes go on to you. And I think a lot of that happened in, my early 20s, or just me living basically for them, or just living for other people. Whereas like 30, I'm a mother, and they are, priority, but I'm living for me now. And I think nothing's wrong with that. I'm unapologetic about it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's only you and you left. I think for me, my 20s was really a time of exploration. Granted, it wasn't perfect. I had highs, I had lows, growth. I had growth areas that I needed to grow, and there were growing pains. But I think if I were to think of like the overall thing for my 20s, it was a season where I truly say I explored. Like I don't think I have any regrets from the things that I experienced in my 20s. I think I had a great time. Granted, like I said, there were a lot of growing pains along the way, and I think we're going to touch more on that. But overall, I think if I were to have a daughter, I would want her to live out her 20s the way I'm not the same experiences,
Yeah.
but the way I feel is if I lived it to the fullest. But like I said, we're going to go more into the fact that as life be life and life did life.
Of course. And that leads me to a question. When you think about your younger self and like how we always have these strict timelines on what we want for our life, and would you say that based on your previous timeline, you are where you thought you would be at 30?
I came here faster than I thought I would be, to be honest with you.
Right?
I think and you know this, but I'll share with our viewers, my idea of my life wasn't really the traditional one. Like, I was not the girl that wanted the white picket fence and all that.
Right.
Nah. I literally had a dream that I would go to college. I would meet my NBA boyfriend, who would be my college sweetheart. We would marry after college, and then be just us two traveling the world with our millions, living in our mansions, and all our money. And then when I'm in my 30s, right now was the time I was supposed to start thinking about kids.
Right.
But first and foremost, I went to the wrong college to find that NBA husband.
Shout out to Hampton University.
No shade to Hampton, but if you want to find your NBA husband, he ain't there, most likely. But all jokes aside, that it didn't really happen that way. And I think I ended up I think marriage happened later than I thought it would, but motherhood happened earlier than I thought it would for me.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And I think for me, if I would say where I'm at the place where I thought I would be at 30, I did want not an average life because I knew I always wanted like success. Mm-hmm. But I just figured I'd be married to my high school sweetheart. We have all these kids. Literally, you used to always say, "Bro, you live in a fairy tale world." But yeah, I'd be married to my high school sweetheart, and we have these kids. We'd have a dog, and we live in a house, and really just building and growing and living life together. That was definitely what I would have thought I would be at 30. But yeah, like I don't think I'm there, but I feel like where I'm at, I'm okay. Like I feel like I'm good. I feel like I've accomplished a lot, and with the gained wisdom that I have, I feel like it's only gonna be up from here.
And you know something else, that while talking about what I had envisioned for my life, I realized that was all. I don't know how to word what I'm trying to say, but that was all not really aligned with who I am at the core.
Right.
And as I've matured and really gotten to know myself throughout 20, I realized that, granted, I don't want the white picket house. And I don't want the suburban life and all. That's not for me personally. But I realized that at the core, I am one that God has put a burden on my heart for other people. And when I envisioned my life, I used to be like, yeah, I want to help people. But it was more about me wanting to secure a insecurity I had about, fine, I want to be rich. I want to this, that, and third. Yeah. And now that I'm wiser and older, like my desire and desire for what I want to do and how I'm driven is so much different than I was when I was 20. Like, and the things that I want now are much different. Granted, I still want the millions, but still want the millions.
You kind of are against that sometimes. You're like, girl, sometimes we have to talk to you like, I don't know if I want to be that rich.
I don't want to be billion. Yeah. I don't want to be a billionaire. Yeah. Okay. I used to say, I want all the money in the world. And I think where I am right now, I don't think I want a billion. I don't want to be a billionaire, but I do want to be a multimillionaire. Not one, will be a multimillionaire.
Speak it, manifest it. We're big on manifestation in this room, so we hope that you are too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that because I think it's a big step to say that, you know, what I envisioned and what I thought, like though I want that, it may be a little too far stretched for me right now, who I am and what I value in my life or how you get it. So maybe how you thought you were gonna acquire that wealth isn't the avenue that you were gonna take. And I think that in order to grow, you have to be receptive to changes in the road, as long as I feel like you have that mindset and what you want
too. Because one thing I think about too is when I was younger, I thought like becoming wealthy was like I just have to find what's hot right now, hot on it. And I talked to a friend of mine, and she said, Olivia, like, you have to look at what God put in your heart in your hands and your heart rather, and like what are your gifts? Like what are the things that come naturally to you, because that's what you're gifted on earth to give. And once you find out the problem that you were put on earth to solve, everything you want is going to come to you.
Yeah.
And that's when, once I started aligning and being more purposeful. Remember last night we were talking, I was saying you can't, when you get into your 30s, you realize that you can't just hop onto every opportunity that comes
Yeah,
on.
you got to be
You have to
able to
see,
have
yeah,
discernment.
does that discern if that aligns with who I am at the core?
Right, right. Because everything that glitters ain't gold. It's
Mm-hmm.
a that's an old saying, but it's true. And then that kind of leads me to think about like why we started Can I Grow? Because
Yeah.
I think it's never too late to change that trajectory. Just
Yeah.
because when you were in college, you thought that you were gonna marry your NBA sweetheart, and that's how you were gonna achieve the life that you want.
Yeah.
It didn't happen that way,
Yeah.
but does that mean the journey that you're going on is wrong?
Yeah.
And do you still have to feel that way? Well, girl, you ain't married to no NBA player. Like, who am I to tell you that
Or not
that's what
even,
you have to stick to?
or not even that. My perspective has changed even towards that. Like
Yeah,
I'm at the place right now where, like, of course I want a provider. That's
of
something
course.
that's very important to me. But I want to feel fulfilled for myself, and I don't want you, the person that I talked to 5 years ago, say, "Girl, what happened to the live? That is this the same girl that said X, Y, and Z?" I said it. Yeah, I said it. But sis,
Can
can
I
I grow?
grow?
Like seriously,
Period.
like or even another a thing that really led us to even this podcast. Sometimes we even do it with each other
Right.
subconsciously, where we be talking and you say something to me, and I'm like, 10 years ago, I told you the same thing, and you were making me seem like I'm crazy, and you're like, Liv, but can I grow? Like a lot, give me the strength or the room
The
rather
room,
to
right.
evolve and become the woman that you might have known that I had potential to be 10 years ago, but I didn't even see it in myself.
And I feel like you shouldn't be limited to how many times you do that.
Yeah.
Like women, men, anyone, they should
Anyone,
know
yes, yeah.
that you're not limited to who you were. You're
Yeah.
not limited to what you thought when you weren't exposed.
Yeah.
Maybe you are exposed to something different. Maybe you met a new friend who now makes you think, who speak life into you. And so now you're like, dang,
Yeah.
I always wanted to be this. I didn't believe in myself,
Yeah.
but now I do. And now I'm going to pursue it. So it's really up to you. I think, like, one thing I learned from working in corporate America, a lot of times they always say your promotions or your development, career development is in your hands.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same thing as in your life.
Yeah.
It's in your hands
All
where
of
you
it.
want to go, what you want to achieve, how big you want to be, how whatever it is that you want to do, it's in your hands. And whether you have someone in your life who is encouraging it, someone in your life who is telling you that, you think you can do that, or you 30 trying to do that, or
Yeah.
you, I don't know,
You an ex-con and you really think you can start a business?
right? Like,
Yeah, I can.
can I
actually.
grow?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
give me that room. And honestly, if you have those people, those naysayers in your life, prove them wrong. I mean, it's your prerogative if you want to cut them out. That's up to you. But if they are hindering your growth, feel free to do that. But if not, prove them wrong.
And also for me, bro, I think one thing that makes me think is like, I can speak personally. Sometimes I am the naysayer in my life.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I am the one who limits myself a lot about what I think I can do based off of what I perceive it takes to accomplish it. Like, and I think that's prevalent a lot right now with social media and stuff. You go on social media, or even if you don't go on social media in real life, there's a lot of comparison. You see a lot of success stories, and you think that your success story has to be exactly like them,
Yes.
or you have to have, oh, they had 1 million followers, so I got to have a
Million
million
followers,
followers
right.
to make it. When in actuality, literally, I truly believe that when God created every human being, He put all of the qualities within you, and you just have to look within yourself. And you may think the thing that might be what you need to blow, you may look at it like it's so insignificant, but that one thing might be really what the world needs, or what that 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 thing that you're trying to enter needs. Kind of like podcasting. Starting a podcast, a lot of people said everybody got a podcast. X,
Right,
Y, Z.
right.
But we
A
truly
naysayer.
believe that we have
A gift.
something
To give, like to help people,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's like, what are we here for if you're not living out
Yeah.
your purpose?
Yeah.
Like, if you're not living to the best of your ability, and also helping others through your journeys, because that's a lot of what we talk about too. And sometimes you go through things in
Yeah.
life, mind you, a lot of it is because of the actions that you've taken to
Yeah.
get yourself there. But instead of dwelling in the mistake you made or whatever it is, why not use it to help someone else or whatever you choose to do with it? Use it to better you, better another person, whatever you think that you can do to, honestly, and this sounds cheesy, but make this world a better place.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Let's do it. Like,
no, seriously.
And don't let the negativity that's around you, because even you guys may have been seeing some of the content we've been sharing around, like our man on the street that we're gonna do throughout this journey. And basically, one assessment that we made was that the people growing in a social media world, because I feel like we did grow up in a social media world a little bit, but we're a little different. But the younger generation, Gen Zs, like the ones who aren't like in the forefront, because there are a lot of Gen Zs who are like out there and risk takers and everything, but we ran into a lot of Gen Zs who were like so hesitant to even talk with us. They're like, wait, am I going to be on camera? And then we're like, yeah. And they're like, I'm too shy for that. Or, I don't want to. But then the people who were like millennials or older, they were kind of like, let's do it. Like, I got a story to tell.
They gained more confidence.
Confidence. That's what it appeared to be, and I feel like they just wanted to express themselves. And also they weren't crippled to the scrutiny and the
fear of public opinion.
Yes. And I think that's what a lot of the younger age group is dealing with, even down to alpha, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds. Like,
oh, that's a generation name? Alpha. Sorry, I didn't even know it's called alpha.
Yeah, like
something today.
Even them, like, I see that. I think it's important, like, because one thing that my sister does is she doesn't allow my niece and nephew to get on social media. And at first I say, I wonder why, but I get it. I get why. Because the kids who are on social media, whether you choose that to be for your child, that's fine. Do you. But the kids who are, they get obsessed with it. They start to
comparison.
Yeah, and comparison is what? Comparison is what?
Thief of joy, baby.
And I see that a lot. So if you can spare them that, I think that we need to live in the real world a little bit.
Exactly.
we need to live in the real world more. And it's cheesy to say, but the effects of like social media and just engulfing all of your time and energy into it while we're doing a podcast is going to be on social media. But
take breaks.
Right. Take breaks.
Yeah. And while you were talking, I started to think of the older people that we talked to too.
Yeah.
And how they had a lot of wisdom, but at the same time, I think that although the younger children had a lot of hesitation, they had a lot of optimism. That's what I noticed. And it made me think of like how age and life sometimes life causes you to die before you die. Meaning like you just start to like settle for the life that you're on. And man, I'm broken, I'm too far gone, things like that. And it had me thinking like, if only people knew how much God specializes in broken people. Girl, I've been reading my Bible a lot lately, and I've realized like everybody he used to do some crazy stuff. Like not one person did he go to that did some crazy things for the humanity. Was it someone who like had everything together, was posh? He really went and found people who were broken, who had weaknesses, who like literally messed up, and like were outcast, and everyone thought was never going to make it. And he used those people to change generations to the point where we're even talking about them today. So it just made me like think about all of that and think about the people who are older and who think like, man, I guess I just have to pour all into my children and hope that they do better than me. No, sis, it's not too late for you. Like, yes,
it's not too late. I even say the same things to my mom, like, because that generation, like the generation of older people, they kind of like, and I think I blame it on society a little bit, because you have that thing, kind of like what people say, kids are resilient. They say like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I disagree.
Yes, you can. An old dog that you want to learn all the tricks they can.
Keyword. If you desire change, you will be the change that you desire. And it's never too late. Can you grow? For 60 years, you may have been whatever.
Yeah, but bro, I think another thing that makes it hard to teach old dogs, and this is not just old as far as age,
Yeah,
because we're even talking about people in their 30s. Teach
exactly.
old dogs. Trick is the fact that a lot of times old dogs do not want to experience the growth, the pain that comes with growth.
The
When you're
vulnerability,
growing,
opening up, all
exactly.
of it.
Physically, when children are growing, they experience growth pain. And when you choose to change from the person that you are right now into the person that you aspire to be, you have to get ready for the opposition that will come. You have to get ready for the pain. Sometimes you confront pains about yourself where you're like, man, was I that foolish to
Yeah.
even do that? Like, why did I even choose to do those things? Or, man, I'm so upset with myself. But you
Right.
have to be able to sit with yourself, accept the fact that you did all of those things, experience the pain, dust yourself up, girl, and make a
Mm-hmm.
roadmap of how you're gonna make it to where you're gonna go.
Yeah, that's big. That's huge because a lot of times people allow that mistake or whatever, that hurt or whatever it is that
Yeah,
affected you in your life, to limit them.
yeah, yeah,
And I refuse.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I refuse because I see it even in social media on
yeah,
comments, things that I watch. How you gonna do that?
yeah,
how can you say you can be that?
yeah.
Watch it. Watch
Like,
me.
who are you to think you can do that?
And one thing you
Yeah,
always say to me too, that a lot of time that's so real, is that people can only see past what they were exposed to.
yes, yes,
Like, they can only see past that, and that is that's dangerous.
yeah,
You know, so you gotta have an open mind and be open to it if you want your life to be
yeah.
better.
You have to have faith. The reckless faith.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really do have to have reckless faith. And so that's just the whole purpose of this podcast. We're so passionate about this because more than anything, this is a project that we're starting because we literally feel, I speak for myself, I feel a calling from God to encourage people, to help people see themselves for more than what they see currently in the mirror. And if just one person reaches out to us and says, like, your podcast encouraged me to
Right.
take the next step, that's just encouragement to know that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. So, yeah, girl.
That's always been something that I desire to do, to
Yeah.
help people. Listen, they used to say, Rolanda, you need to show Ayana fix my life.
No, seriously.
Rolanda
She
fix
thinks she's
my
a
life.
therapist. Well, now, meanwhile, I went to school for therapy, but she really is a therapy.
She a therapist too. She just don't have time for all that. I put the energy into it. She's like, Rolanda, I don't know how you
I
do
left the
all that.
profession. I said, therapist
It's
turned
too
IT
much.
professional.
Right. But either way, and that wasn't too late for you.
Exactly.
To change a whole career trajectory.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone could have said, "Dang girl, you paid for a whole college and
You got your master's and everything.
you
I sure did.
And I'm not doing it, because I even had someone who said that when I said that I was doing a podcast. They said, well, if she's not in psychology no more, how are we gonna do this?
Yeah.
Watch.
God will show us. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, so that's what it's all about. And Can I Grow isn't limited to just women. I know we're two women speaking and spreading this, but I think that this can help anyone.
Yeah, anyone. Yeah.
No matter what stage you are in your life, honestly.
So I hope you guys feel our heart through this journey. Can you hope you guys tag on with us, because we're gonna grow. You're gonna see us evolve and change into different women, and we want to see our audience evolve and turn into different men and women too.
Yeah, so we pray that this resonates with you, and that you leave, even if it's something as small as a smile, came across your face, or just you were having a bad day and you needed this, because a lot of times you see that those memes where it's like, dang, I needed that.
Yeah.
That's what we hope. And if so, leave a comment, let us know. Okay. And let us know if there's anything you want us to discuss too.
Exactly. If you have any topics or anything, let us know. Because now we friends, we locked in.
Right. Y'all in this with us. It's not just, it's just us two on camera, but like, y'all are here with us. Yeah.
So thank you guys, and until next time, peace.
Bye, y'all.
That was really